What up, YouTube? Today we're going to talk about EastWest's iconic library that just came out so that maybe you can do something like this. No, don't be that guy. But you could be that guy if you wanted to be. So they've meticulously gone through and created synth versions of all these iconic sounds, not only using the original synths, but using the original programmers. So it's as close to the real deal as you're ever going to get. Being that I'm already a paying subscriber for Composer Cloud Plus, the library just showed up and I was able to download it. So this track is created using only the sounds from the library itself. This is your interface. This is what you'll be looking at. Lots of little fun things to mess around with. Filters, cutoffs, attack, delay. It's got a nice little arpeggiator here. When I'm looking at interfaces, I don't look at it and be like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to cut off this. I'm going to roll off this. I just get in and I start messing around and twisting knobs until I find a sound that I like. I find that that's a better way of working for me. So let's hear this patch. We have a synthy kind of track going on today. Quite often, I like to start a track with some kind of rhythmic idea. Okay, so if you can see, if we go back to the track, what I did is I actually bounced this out because I was literally just holding one note the entire time, just running underneath the track. So let's listen to what that sounds like. That is it, just to run underneath the track. The only thing I did was I rolled off some high end, just so it runs underneath the track and it doesn't get in the way of some other things. Next sound that we picked is called Break My Hide Bass. It's got that really synthy kind of. Real Stranger Things kind of vibes going on there. I don't know how much I fooled around with any of these sounds, but again, you can kind of go nuts. So you can have lots of fun with that. And again, just go nuts with all the other things. Twist some knobs, have some fun. That's a process that I do fairly quickly, just until I get a sound that I like. Then what we have is iconic Baby Prophet pentatonic flutes. Just playing around with the mod wheel here. Very kind of just very soft sound. We got iconic dense breeze. Whoever's doing their programming for the mod wheel or whatever parameters they're changing, they do a really good job. Then we have, what is this? Horns in the Deep. You could get lost, and that is just an awesome sound. That's probably one of my favorites in the whole thing. And again, this library, if you want to recreate like some of the classic sounds of the 80s, maybe you're like a live cover band or something like that, or my fellow Twitch streamers recreate the instrumentation from the original songs. I mean, this is gonna get you there. For me, that's not my intended purpose with this. I'm going to keep writing the kind of music that I want to write, which is the cinematic with kind of ambient influences, kind of stripped down. And so when I'm looking at new sounds and new libraries, I want to know is it going to work in my particular workflow? So I'll play the track in a bit and you can tell me whether or not I got there. This next patch is Iconic Shimmer Pad. It's got a really nice decay at the end of it. So I think this is probably why I like working with synths over string samples, is that quite often the decay is just built right in there. So as long as you release that chord before the end of your phrase, you can let it kind of die out, and it's a lot easier for mixing. So that's that one. I tend to gravitate towards the pad sounds. This one is Want to Have Fun Polly. Air Force. That's just a fun one. Do a really good job with all their delays and reverbs in there. So that's super fun. What did I do? No, I didn't EQ that one. And then we have, this is again something that just runs underneath the track. You almost will not even hear this. It's actually a combination of two things. I think I maybe... I think it was a happy accident where I layered these two sounds, arrival and static pulse bass. And all I did was roll, again, I rolled off some high. If I take that EQ off, it sounds really cool, but I can tell all those frequencies are going to really interfere with a lot of other stuff. So then I added I'll throw the EQ on there so you can hear the difference. I'll play the track and we'll have some final thoughts. So is this library worth it? $300 is a lot of money. For me, I'm finding it harder and harder to justify purchasing libraries in excess of $300, $250, $300. I'm not saying the library is not worth it. But again, that's where Composer Cloud comes into play. And I think that's why I've been pushing it, because I think it's the most affordable way of getting a whole bunch of sounds at a really, really low price. And it's a lot easier to manage with small monthly payments. So for me, because I'm part of Composer Cloud, plus this library just appeared, boom, I could download it, ready to go. I think there's been a lot of effort that's gone into this library in terms of painstakingly preserving all of these classic, iconic sounds. So I think that price justifies it. For me, because I like to primarily produce, cinematic kind of ambient influenced music, anything that I can get that takes kind of older sounds but puts a fresh modern take on it, I think is a really cool thing. So I personally have had a lot of fun with the library. I would just go ahead and do a trial run of Composer Cloud and download it. Try it out first, have some fun with it. If you like this channel and these walkthroughs, check out my course that I have on Skillshare. We have a cinematic music production course, as well as a course on how to improvise on the piano. Thanks for watching, friends. Stay safe.